Emergency water supplies are being delivered to areas across the country as we start to see the effects of an early drought. The Scottish Environment and Protection Agency's latest report has highlighted the Central Belt now has a heightened alert status for water scarcity.
While groundwater levels don't affect water supplies in our homes, levels in reservoirs do. Well, Courtney Cameron joins us now from the Carron Valley Reservoir. So how are things looking there, Courtney?
Well, Emma, it's been another beautiful day with no rainfall. And while reservoirs like this may look reasonably full, the reality is across the country they're actually holding 5% less water than they were at this time last week. Now, for this time of the summer, those levels are below average and it is causing concern. But the message is don't panic. We're all just being asked to be more considerate about the amount of water we're using over the next few weeks. The flowers are in plentiful supply, but the same can't be said for the water at this garden centre in Larbert. The dry weather is already affecting business here.
It's causing a bit of an issue for watering the plants, as you can imagine. We've got thousands of plants at this time of year. It's very busy with customers. We do have water tanks where we collect the rainwater that comes in and store it, and that lasts maybe a week or so, but unfortunately we've had no rain, as I say, for a month, so we've been running off mains water.
Just 20 miles along the road, Scottish Water tankers have been moving water from reservoirs to fill up reserve tanks in Ythan to ensure homes there are still receiving their usual supply.
For the last 10 days we've been out constantly, both in the Highlands and here. Normally you'd be expecting this kind of job in July, and we're started in the end of May.
Ythan is just one of a few rural areas across the country that's currently being topped up with water for households at the moment. But with more warm and dry weather on the way, Scottish Water is encouraging people to be more considerate with the amount they're using to prevent operations like this having to be carried out elsewhere.
Our volume of water that we see going out with customers has gone up by around about 150 million litres a day over the last 2 weeks. And we believe that that's mainly due to outdoor use.
So what can people do to help this situation?
In the garden, maybe not use a sprinkler or a hose, choose to use a watering can instead. Or if you're in the kitchen, make sure that your washing machine is fully loaded or your dishwasher's fully loaded so that you're making the best use of the water that you do use.
According to the Environment Agency SEPA's latest report, the entire Central Belt now has a heightened alert status for groundwater scarcity. In the north, it's more serious, with significant shortages being reported in the Loch Maree area. Farmers are urged to be extra cautious.
There's advice on our website for abstractors to reduce their water use, to stagger abstractions with their neighbours and to do all they can to conserve water, and by doing that we can hopefully extend the period before we might have to step in and put in place restrictions.
Even though we're expecting some rainfall over the next few days, experts say it'll do little to alleviate the current situation.
We have had less rainfall across Scotland so far this year. We had a dry winter followed by a very dry spring in parts of western and northwestern Scotland. Then we've had the recent dry spell with high pressure, and it's led to some very low river levels.
Dry weather also means there is an increased risk of wildfires.
From our point of view, what's really important is that whether in amongst vegetation of any sort, that they don't use a naked flame, whether that be a barbecue, a stove even in amongst vegetation at the moment would be a risk in itself.
The Scottish Government is also urging people and businesses to use water carefully as demand rises. It says it's monitoring the situation closely and making preparations in the event the hot weather continues. Courtney Cameron, STV News.